guys, it's Jeff Young with In the Cut Travel. I'm hanging out with the legendary Henry Rollins here at the travel show. He is a guest speaker today talking about his insights in travel and what he looks forward to. What are you going to share on the stage? What inspires you about travel?
Well, I'm going to talk about exactly what inspires me about travel, which is getting to see other realities in the world, the human stories that you might not necessarily see in your own city or wherever you live. And the fact that it broadens you, it makes discrimination fairly impossible. And it lessens your fear of the world, which is a good place to be, to not be afraid and to welcome the world and to become more curious. And that's why I travel. It's like, for me, it's like adding gasoline to a fire. As I come back from a trip, it only makes me want to plan the next one. And the further out I go into the world, into like the Middle East and Southeast Asia or wherever, Africa, the more curious I become and the more kind of bold and more interested I become. And I think all of that is incredibly positive. And I've never been able to achieve that any other way. No book has brought me there, no documentary, no movie, no life experience besides getting my feet in that place 8,000 miles from here has ever inspired that.
Right. Absolutely. What's important to you? Are you a city person? Do you like to be in the urban landscape? Do you go to rural communities? Is it kind of just a hodgepodge of whatever your travel's looking for in the neighborhoods? What do you like to do, city or rural?
A bit of both. What is my key interest is people. And so if I'm in a city like Hanoi, which is busy and loud and fun and very, picturesque, I'll just walk the streets, find any marketplace because that's where it's happening. Right. All the sights and smells and everyone's voulez-vous-ing and hanging out. But you go to some parts of the world where it's very quiet. Parts of Indonesia, it's a softer, more low-key environment, and I'll just find paths. I'll go to villages. Like in Bangladesh, I go into slums, which are huge, and I'll spend days at a time in slums, wandering around, meeting the kids, taking photos, meeting people, trying to get an understanding, and that's far more quiet and very different. And so wherever the people are, that's where I'll go. And sometimes that takes me into jungle, rainforest, or a city, streetcars and, a bunch of noise.
So humanity is very important to you in connecting with the cultures and looking at people in the eyes and understanding maybe a hardship that they're experiencing and they've experienced their whole life.
Right. And I love flora and fauna and all of that. Right. But I'm not the nature guy who wants to hike for 5 days. I would do it. But if there's a city and a thing that's cooking with people, I gravitate towards that. Yeah. A lot of my travel at this point is socio-eco-historical. I want to go where the last war was. I want to go where the water isn't anymore. I want to see what that's like. I want to see what globalization looks like over here. Conflict areas are of high interest to me, to see how people are getting along. And so I'm not a thrill seeker. I'm not a tough guy at all, but I am curious to see, to answer that question, how you living. And sometimes in countries you're advised not to go, that makes me very interested, which has led me to places like, Iran, North Korea, Pakistan, Syria, Lebanon, places like that.
Excellent. And I hear you have a book that just came out, or you have a photography book that you have on offer. What is that book?
It's called Occupants, which came out long before the Occupy movement. Because I just figure we humans, we're occupying the place for a while. Like, you're not going to live forever. Absolutely. Neither am I. As dashing as I am, I'm not going to. But, and in that spirit, leave it looking good for the next gang who's going to come along. Because you're just passing through. So be humble, be kind, not only to the people who are around today, but those who are coming down the trail. And hopefully they'll do that for those who come. And that's why I named the book Occupants. And the book is basically photos from everywhere from Baghdad to Pyongyang of people, environments, beautiful and not so beautiful, mansions in Riyadh to slums in Bangladesh.
Excellent. It sounds so fascinating. Last question, as a DJ, as a musician, how important is music to you when you travel? If you're out in the cities, are you listening to music? Are you buying music? How important is music to you?
Music makes life possible for me. Without music, okay, pizza and music make life possible. But I'm incredibly interested in any local music anywhere. So in a place like Lebanon or anywhere, there's music kiosks, a lot of like CDRs for sale. I'll just, the guy's a boombox. You just put them in. I just make a stack. I said, give me a deal on all these. I'm buying 15 of these, and you haggle. Yeah. And you get them down to a good price, and you put it in the backpack, and you play it on your radio show later. And sometimes I just go into the streets and I record street musicians, mosques, the evening prayer or the morning prayer in different countries. Yeah. It's slightly different and very interesting. And so I record backyard bands like in Lenga, which is a township in South Africa. There's like local bands. Mm-hmm. And, I just, hey, can I record? They're like, yeah, man. And I put it on my radio show. Wow. So I buy a lot of local music from local vendors anywhere I go. Yeah.
And what's your radio station? Where can people?
KCRW, 89.9 FM.
All right, so you can check out Henry Rollins on 89.9 FM KCRW. Thanks for checking us out on In the Cut. Appreciate your time.
No problem.
All right, thank you so much.